I remember when 9 African heads of states, led by President Cyril Ramaphosa, traveled all the way to Ukraine to broker peace. They were humiliated, dismissed, and ignored. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today on Colony Watch. As usual, it's me, Asen. I'd like to deliberate on the Sudan problem, on the Sudanese problem, like the Black Sudanese problem. That's what I'd like to talk about today. And I have a few questions for the continent of Africa, not like the Africa continent. Talking about when I say Africa, I'm talking about the Black Africans, So I'd like to ask Africans uh, uh, a few questions, and the first question is, why is no one talking about taking refugees from Sudan? Is it that we don't see that these people are getting killed? Defenseless women, children, men getting slaughtered like animals? Is it that we cannot see what's actually happening to our brothers and sisters? Or I don't understand. I'd like someone to tell me. I'd love to know. Because of course I'm not all knowing. I'm just a person who is hungry for knowledge. But I'd truly like to know the answer to that question. Why is no Black African country currently taking in refugees from Sudan? Kudos to Kenya, by the way, because years ago, around 2015, when I visited Kenya, there were actually lots of Sudanese people living in Kenya. So yes, kudos to Kenya for that. But we can't expect Kenya to do more. What about the rest of us? What about Nigeria? What about Ghana? What about Benin? What about Togo? What about all that plenty Africa countries in between? What are we doing? Why is no one talking about helping these brothers and sisters flee from persecution, from death, from all that destruction going on in Sudan? Why is nobody talking about it? And why are we acting like there isn't like an open genocide taking place right now against Black people? Why? You know? And before anyone gets uncomfortable, let's talk facts. Let's talk facts. When white South Africans claimed genocide, even though the evidence was weak and exaggerated, the United States immediately opened its doors. They granted asylum, they offered protection, they acted not because the world was ending, but because those were their people. Those were their people. But here we are, watching real Black genocide in Sudan in real time. And not one major African country is offering asylum, mass evacuation, or protection. Not one, not even one, not one. So, what exactly are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Do we want Europe, a continent already overwhelmed with an immigration crisis, to come and save our people again? Do we expect others to value Black lives when we, the actual Black world, refuse to protect our own? How can anyone ever believe that Black lives matter when Black people are the first to turn away, when fellow Black people are hunted, tortured, displaced, and killed? Why? What is really happening to us? What is really happening to us as Black people? What is happening to us? Why is it that we shout loudly about Palestine? And yes, the situation matters. I'm not undermining the Palestinian struggle, but yeah, the situation matters. But we go dead silent when Africans are being slaughtered by the thousands in their own homeland. Why? Why are we comfortable watching our own die? But we become activists when it's another race, another religion, another continent. It makes no sense. I remember when 9 African heads of states, led by President Cyril Ramaphosa, traveled all the way to Ukraine to broker peace. They were humiliated, dismissed, and ignored. And after Africans were racially profiled and mistreated at the Poland-Ukraine border, not one African president came out boldly to condemn it. Not one, not even a single one. But here we are again. Sudanese civilians are being murdered simply because of their identity. And Black Africa is silent, absolutely silent. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? How did we become so numb to the suffering of our own people? How? How did we learn to cry so loudly for others and whisper silently when the victims look like us? How? So here's my conclusion. Here's my conclusion. If Africa cannot defend Africans, then who on earth do we expect to stand for us? Who? If Black nations will not shelter Black refugees, then how can we demand justice from a world that has never cared about us? If we do not value Black lives in Africa, then Black Lives Matter becomes a slogan with no soul. With no soul, absolutely none. This is the painful truth. The world is not the problem. We are the problem. Until Africa learns to protect its own, until African borders open for African refugees, until African leaders put Africans' lives above foreign approval, we will continue to be a people who mourn loudly for others, but bury our own in silence. And history will remember our silence as loudly as the screams of those we refuse to save. That's my take on this matter. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm not a believer of Black Lives Matter because the whole organization is it is fraud. And also I've never seen other races coming to say that before they actually start doing the needful for themselves, where they have to put color in the forefront, like, oh, white life matters, so now we have to take care of ourselves, or now, or purple life matter, or pink life matter. So it's just color riot.
Actually, white lives matter. White lives matter. It's an ongoing movement at the moment, but again, we are not paying attention. I'll give you an instance. The evacuation of white people from South Africa. What is it? It's a form of white lives matter, but the difference is they don't come out screaming. They take action. That's the difference. So yes, I know where you're coming from. Yeah, but when I said Black Lives Matter, I wasn't talking about the organization in the United States. I'm talking about the facts, the truth that Black lives actually matters. Not because Black Lives Matter exists in the United States or that. No. Again, yeah, Black people from all over the world, our lives matter. Whether you're in the United States or in Africa or anywhere, our lives actually matter. What I'm trying to say is that if we who are constantly complaining about how others treat us so badly, if we treat ourselves even worse, what kind of message are we sending out there? What kind of message? So when I say Black Lives Matter, that's where I was coming from. And again, don't get it wrong, because a group of Black Lives Matter leaders in the United States messed up heavily, as usual, Black people and corruption, everybody wanted to gain something out of something so serious. Because a few people amongst them did what they did, it shouldn't take away from the fact that truly Black Lives Matter. And everybody I would say it was millions of people who were involved in that movement. Are you trying to tell me all the million of them were fraud? No. They actually believed in it. They actually believed in that movement. But the people who are the overseers of the organization actually did what they did. As usual, we're always having these betrayers, these traitors in our means, people who do certain things to make our struggle look like a joke. That's what I was trying to explain. That's the point I'm trying to make. So thank you.
Yeah, copy that. The thing is, for me, is basically about African lives matter. Because when you say blacks, I mean, a lot of people can identify as black, but not everyone actually see themselves as African, even though they live in Africa, even though they're actually Africans, So they're like, well, we're not Africans, we're not this. So that rejection brings forth resentment, it brings forth hate, it brings forth separation. So it is really sad when I see the level of hatred in the Black community. And especially Africans now, talking about Africans who are living in Africa. So again, I can understand because of the terrible things that happens, in the group. But we have to look way beyond that. We don't have to, be stuck by the disadvantage that has plagued the whole community over time. So it's like someone who wants to go into business or a businessman. The fact that you start a business and you fail does not mean that you should stop trying. So you're not going to dwell on your failure, but rather you're going to sit, re-strategize, and then make plans on how you can actually make the business successful this time. So I think Africans should wake up. This is a wake-up call for all Africans, because in different parts of Africa, there is war, there is killing of children, women, men, everyone. There are people starving. There are terrible things happening, and we just turn a blind eye, and we claim to be good people or people who actually have conscience, but it is only applicable with people who are outside of our race. Then we're compassionate. We are very nice. We're very generous. But for people who are within our race, we're blind to it, And also, we do have African Union. There is an African Union, supposedly, that is supposed to check and see all of these things. So I begin to wonder, whenever they hold meetings, whenever they have, whenever they come together, what do they talk about? Do they talk about African problems or their personal problems? So, because this is it is something very important. And just seeing this, of course, we can tell that they are talking about their personal problems. Because if they were talking about African problems, we probably would have seen them in action, trying to do certain things to help resolve, the problems in the affected regions or places. But so far, there hasn't been anything like that. And it is really sad that, we as Africans, we have a very huge number of Africans who are immigrants in Europe, around the world generally. But when it comes to Africa, to Africans, we hardly accept people from other parts. So we don't care, even though they're going through difficult times. We don't care, even though the place is war-plagued. We don't care, even though they're killing them. We don't care. Oh, don't come to my place. Oh, you go there. Oh, you go there. No. So what are the government doing? What are they doing? So are they just going to sit there and just talk about, division of money or some benefits for their personal interest, or they are going to actually come together and do the needful, which is why they were placed there in the first place, to serve the people, to serve the continent of Africa. So I think if they are not serious with, the unity of Africa, with checking and seeing how they can help affected regions or parts of Africa going through difficult times, they should actually dissolve the whole African Union, because it's almost useless.
It is useless.
Yeah. So,
It is totally useless. Yeah.
I haven't seen any effect from African Union. I haven't seen them come out to condemn some terrible things happening in the soil of Africa. I haven't seen them come up with solutions on how to make Africa better. I haven't seen them actually unite the African youth. There is something that they do in Europe for the European students. It's called Erasmus, where the students, a student from Germany can go to a place like Sweden as an exchange student to, just a change of environment, to see how the school is, how the culture is, how the environment is, apart from the benefit they already have as being in the European Union. So this exchange actually gives a wider vision so that people can see how life is in other parts of Europe. So in Africa, why can't they have something like this exchange student stuff, or some kind of an event that they can create so that people can be exchanged. South Africans students go to Nigeria, or the youth go there for some time, just to exchange culture, exchange everything, so that we can be united, so that we can be familiar with ourselves. Because the problem is that we're not familiar with ourselves. Most of the time, we're strangers. We are farther away from other Africans than we are with Europeans. And this is a big problem. So I would really like us to, especially for the young people coming up, to look at this critically. The time is now. And we don't have much time, because if you talk about Asia, they already passed this stage. Europe has passed this stage, and every other part of the world, it's only us that we haven't really done anything, and yet we complain. So now I think we should quit complaining. The time is for action, where we actually start asking relevant questions, where we on our own, are able to draw out and map out solutions and actually spread the word, so that we can come together. We don't have to be in government. On this platform is a very amazing and great place where we can do this. People from other parts of Africa, come up with your ideas. We can get on live and discuss serious issues. We can also, be here to have video recordings and post for our viewers around African continent. We don't have to wait for the government. So I think this is going to be a very great initiative, and I encourage everyone to support in every way that you can, by your contribution. I mean, any way that you can support. So let's push this and create a better African nation, a united African front, and an African that will thrive in love, in peace, and in unity. Thank you.
Yeah. So finally, I just wanted to add something. Uh, the actual name of the African Union is the Kleptocratic Union of African Leaders. That's what they do. They are kleptocrats. They are thieves. They don't care about the people. So yeah, that's it. Again, like the channel, subscribe, follow us for more debates. We might have to debate our way out of these problems. I know debating is not going to solve all the problems, but a healthy debate will be a good start because talking about anything uh, solves a huge part of the problem. Solves a huge part of the problem. So as Africans, yeah, let's talk. Let's share ideas. Let's actually try to build a better Africa, not just for us. Obviously, not for us, but for generations to come. Because for us, I don't know, but for generations to come, for the children yet unborn, for the children young at the moment, we cannot afford to fail. The old guards have failed. We, the youth, we must do different. We must be different. Our approach has to be different. So that's it on this video. See you on the next one. Thank you.
Bye, guys.